In one of my recent videos, I took you to the Smithsonian, the Museum of Natural History. I've been now living in DC for about 4 months, and there's still a lot that I have not explored. So in today's video, that's what we're going to do. By the time you're seeing this, realistically, I probably don't even live in DC anymore, but check out my other videos to see where I'm actually at by the time you're seeing this. I feel like it has been such a long time since I last vlogged by myself. Like, I feel like I'm always with a bunch of people, but I'm on a solo mission today and I'm going to see the red pandas. I don't think I've ever seen a panda in person. I also don't know why I wore this outfit, the outfit I had the sleeves on, because I'm sweating, it's hot. Okay, I know that people say that like zoos are cool or whatever, and they are because we get to learn and everything, but come on. I just feel like that cannot be a good place for like a whole wild cat to live. Like, look how caged off it is. There's like no room even for it. Ugh. Not sure how I feel about this. So the pandas are hidden away at the moment because they have to clean and stuff. But I'm like, I feel like I'm so determined. So I'm gonna come back in a little bit. Why do I feel like there's no animals at the zoo? This definitely makes me want to go on an African safari so I can just see these things in real life. I also feel a little silly because these do not seem that big to me when I know that elephants are like huge. But they don't sound like, are these babies? Are they just a different breed? What exactly is happening here? Oh, look at it eating. That was cute. Okay, so here's the 411. Typically, species become endangered and even extinct because of things like habitat changes, pollution, disease, hunting, all the things, many of which are inflicted on by humans. And so that's what makes me wonder, in a place like this, are we rehabilitating these species? Are we trying to rebuild them so that they can go back into their natural habitats? Or are we doing this because we are the worst animals of all? And it's really hard for me to make that distinction. Of course, I'm not a zoologist, I don't know these things, but that's where I'm posing the question. I'm trying to do the research, I'm trying to figure it out, because also I imagine if you are born and grow up in a space like this, a very limited space, as an animal that is used to being in the actual wild with endless expanses, what effect does that have on the development and the actual instincts of a species? So those are the questions I want to pose. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on zoos? What do you know? What can you enlighten me on? Tell me the things. This is an important discussion. I've struggled with this kind of duality for a while, this question of, are these good? Are zoos good? I don't know. Maybe that'll be the title of this video. See him sleeping there? Look at that lemur. And all the turtles. You see those? That's so adorable. Wait, they're everywhere. Why is there so many turtles? Am I in Asia right now? Africa. Where do lemurs live? I feel silly. Sun or shade? I'm not really sure what this guy is. Kind of looks like a donkey. They eat so much bamboo, it's insane. I'm sweating my ass off. Don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea to wear my hair down today. Didn't realize it was going to be this hot. Okay, y'all, I have a lot of thoughts, and the goal is really to share the stories of the people, the Native communities, the Indigenous people, the Americans, and this sort of thing is always difficult because I do not identify with the Indigenous Americans, and I don't have that social identity, so it's always difficult to kind of talk about these subjects coming from a place that I come from, a white woman with, God-given rights in a lot of ways. It's just crazy because there is so much history and so much. It's hard to find the words because I feel so disheartened, and I also feel so disappointed, and I also feel so embarrassed for the country that I was born in, and I am so grateful to be an American. This is complicated. It's just really learning about the truth of what happened when, this land mass became the United States of America. It's disheartening, it's embarrassing to know that these are the people that we put on a pedestal, the people that we carved their faces into the side of a mountain, all of that stuff, because when you really learn about the history, what happened, I feel like it's not necessarily anything to celebrate. It's a lot of propaganda about having power, having money, populating, building wealth, when you're overtaking, colonizing land that was being taken care of and already lived on and inhabited. It's just crazy to see the evolution of who we believe Americans to be. I was just learning about how when the white people from Europe first came over to America, they pretty much named it America right away, and therefore the people who are already inhabiting the space were known as Americans. So at what point in history did we start othering them, the people who literally were here first, right? At what point did we try and start making those separations and changing who has the rights to be in America and who decides that? And we took it by force, and it's so interesting that at some point in history someone made that conscious decision to start making that separation. And I think that's what's the saddest part of it, in my opinion. Well, I don't know if I can say the saddest part. There's a lot of really sad parts. And also, it's just unfortunate that it does feel like we are forgetting the stories of our own beginnings. At the same time, we have so many influences from the Americans, the original Americans, in our daily life as well. I'm thinking about town names of where I grew up, and street names, and lakes and rivers, and the names of all of these landmarks, mountains even, and all of nature, because the beliefs of a lot of the native tribes were so embedded and deeply connected with nature, with Mother Earth, with the natural land, and they worked in such beautiful tandem with the nature. It's just crazy to see what America is today and just how vastly different it is. And it honestly makes me so sad, because why could we not have preserved all that? Again, it comes down to greed, money, power. Yeah, I'm having a lot of thoughts. The point that I was trying to get to is that I can't imagine what it's like for someone that actually has that background and lineage when I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, because it's hard to comprehend the really intense ways that the government that kind of just stepped in and took over, how they were handling and mishandling the indigenous people and the indigenous tribes, trying to terminate their governments, all the things. And it's just insane to me how over time we have, like I said, kind of just lost the ability to share the stories and talk about it in a way that is actually does the stories justice. And my heart just breaks. My heart just breaks. If you are not aware of the real reality of what has happened in our nation, how our nation began, the truths, if you have not taken the time to listen to your brothers and sisters of different backgrounds, do that. Learn, actually understand, listen to understand. That's where we have to start to make any sort of change, or to just honor humans, respect humans. Like, imagine that. The quote was, great nations keep their word. And now more than frickin' ever, I feel like that is something that we need to put our focus and our energy onto. Okay, let's just do a quick debrief, because I realized that this video has been a lot of me like, probably sounds like I'm complaining a lot. And that is not the case. I want to recognize the privilege that I have, and I want to use that to amplify the voices of others. And I think it's very important that we don't hide those stories and we don't try and cover them up. I am very grateful to have been born an American, to have been born in the United States, with the body that I show up in. And I want to recognize my gratitude, but also recognize my privilege and use it, and use my platform to kind of educate or encourage you to think in a different way, whether that just be putting yourself out there to learn a little bit more about whether it's animals' rights or human rights from a group that might look different than you, or whatever that looks like, or even like questioning authority a little bit, questioning history. Make sure that you are not just believing everything that everyone else tells you, thinking for yourself, having a mind of your own. I think that is important, especially in today's day and age when it's hard to tell what the difference is. With all the AI and all the other things going on, it can be hard to recognize what is truth. And so challenge yourself. I'm not even saying to take everything I'm saying as, fact, or I'm not trying to tell you how to think. I'm challenging you to think for yourself. That is the idea. That is the goal of this video. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do that. There's a lot of fun things coming this summer. But all of that to say, I guess my encouragement today, I have a couple things. Definitely push yourself to have questions, be curious, and also do things alone. Because like I said, it's been a while since I have done a vlog, I think all on my own, or by myself, an adventure that's all on my own. And I love it. I love doing things by myself. It definitely is a challenge because we get very comfortable with the people that we're comfortable with. But life does not stop or slow down for anyone. So if your friends aren't free, if your family doesn't want to go to something, do it anyway. And do it alone, because at the end of the day, it's your life. You're the only one that has to live it. So don't be filled with regrets of things that you wish you would have done. Okay, that was a long clip. Thank you so much for being here. Keep living large. I'll catch you on the flip.